Tonight on Eagle Angle, the countdown to Spring Sing has begun.
President Biden makes a surprise visit to Ukraine.
And the Lady Eagles dominated senior night.
All this and more coming right up on Eagle Angle.
Hello and welcome to Eagle Angle, a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University. I'm Dominic Bonocore.
I'm Keneisha Sanap.
Oklahoma Christian University's 55th annual Spring Sing is right around the corner. This year's Spring Sing theme is Just My Imagination. Executive Director Michaela McKenzie said in a post on the Spring Sing Instagram page, quote, "Spring Sing is so special. From 55 years ago to now, Spring Sing is a staple to students' time here and something that everyone continues to carry with them. I am so excited to see where your imagination takes you during this year's show." Spring Sing will be held March 3rd and 4th in Baugh Auditorium. Tickets can be purchased at oc.edu/events or viewers can turn in during live stream.
Spring Sing is less than a week away and many students are preparing for an exciting payoff. This year's Spring Sing Philanthropy Project is fostering sweet dreams. Founded in 2016 by Christy Payne, the nonprofit focuses on providing essential resources to Oklahoma's most vulnerable children. In an interview with the Talon's Brandon Zepf, Junior Asia Powers, the student director of philanthropy, said, quote, "I wanted this year's theme of imagination and childhood to be tied into whatever group we chose, but I also wanted to do something new, find a nonprofit we've not partnered with before." To find out more about how you can support the nonprofit, visit fosteringsweetdreams.com. And to read more about Spring Sing's involvement in fostering sweet dreams, visit talon.news.
President Biden declaring a rallying cry for Ukraine, declaring in neighboring Poland that Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. The speech was a moment to solidify NATO's support for Ukraine's survival as the world marks the first anniversary of Russia's invasion on Friday. Biden's speech pushing back against the rancor of Russian President Vladimir Putin as the country steps back from a historic arms treaty with the U.S. Mike Valerio has the latest.
No doubt. Our support for Ukraine will not waver. NATO will not be divided, and we will not tire.
President Joe Biden delivering a defiant declaration at the Royal Castle in Warsaw, a promise of resilience that neighboring Ukraine will not fall.
Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never.
The president called for steadiness of purpose days before the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
President Putin ordered his tanks to roll into Ukraine. He thought we would roll over. He was wrong.
Biden last spoke from the storied setting in March of 2022, when the resolve of Ukraine and the strengthening of the NATO alliance were only beginning to emerge. The resolve underscored by President Biden's historic trip to Kyiv, standing side by side with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Monday. While in Moscow, Russian President Vladimir Putin framed the contours of the conflict as an existential battle with the West.
The elite of the West do not conceal their ambitions, which is to strategically defeat Russia, finish us off once and for all.
Putin announcing Russia is suspending its participation in the New START Treaty, the last major nuclear arms agreement between the U.S. and Russia. Back in Poland, the president focused on future generations and what remains at stake.
Freedom, the enemy of the tyrant, and the hope of the brave and the truth of the ages. Freedom.
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The long pause on federal student loan payments is set to end later this year. That means millions of former students will have to begin or resume paying those student debt bills in just months. The moratorium on payments began under former President Trump in March of 2020 at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Then President Biden continued it. Right now, it's possible student loan payments won't restart until August. When payments start back up, it will be the first time many former students have to pay their debt. It comes as we want to see if President Biden's big student debt forgiveness plan survives legal challenges.
40 years ago, Auburn University student Kyle Clink-Scales went missing, and just a few days ago on February 19th, his remains were identified. On December 8, 2021, the remains, mostly consisting of pieces of bone and tissue, were found at a 1974 Pinto roundabout located in a creek in Cusseta, Alabama. For over a year, law enforcement had been waiting on results from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation about whether or not the remains were actually Clink-Scales. The student was just 22 years old when he went missing, and at the present time, the cause of death is unknown.
A Texas woman has to rebury her mother 10 years after she died. The woman says she recently learned her mother's casket wasn't properly wrapped and the remains were leaking. As Mario Diaz reports, the family is suing the funeral home and cemetery.
This interview was not for me, for anyone to feel sorry for me. I'm not looking for no one to feel sorry. I don't want no pity from no one. I just want everyone to make sure when they bury their parents that it's properly wrapped.
Tina Evans' advice is the result of struggles she and her family have endured over the last year. As their attorney Ben Hall puts it,
what should have been a final goodbye has turned into a lifetime nightmare.
Evans and her family filed a 9-page lawsuit against Forest Park Lawndale, a Southeast Houston funeral home and cemetery, along with a casket supplier.
The casket is leaking.
Evans says her mother's casket was never properly wrapped.
No one would ever imagine that it's her remains leaking.
She died nearly 10 years ago. Her father passed away last year. It is then that they visited the family's mausoleum. Visible stains were noticed immediately. Evans says cemetery officials were made aware.
They said it might maybe be water or some oil leaking. And then after they came in and they opened it up, they realized it was her remains.
Cemetery workers in protective suits moved her remains to another temporary location, and a proper resolution has yet to be reached. Thus, the lawsuit, to which Forest Park is not commenting, they say out of respect of the Evans family and the pending litigation.
You're never supposed to bury your mother and your father and then unbury them again.
Monday evening, a 37-year-old woman was airlifted to a local hospital after her home located in Calumet, Oklahoma, exploded. The house owner, Leanne, suffered severe burns on over half her body, but was able to cover her face during the explosion. Leanne was also to escape the house after punching a hole in the wall of the basement. She is currently being treated for her injuries, and her condition at the present time is unknown.
Coming up on Eagle Angle.
MSU students are back and have some four-legged friends.
And McDonald's Shamrock Shake returns.
All this and more when we come back.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Michigan State University students and employees are getting some four-legged therapy in the aftermath of last week's shooting. As students returned to classes Monday, therapy dogs were made available in the school's library. It's one of the many mental health services available to students, staff, faculty, and other members of the community to help them process the tragedy. 1 week earlier, on February 13th, a gunman opened fire in 2 campus buildings, killing 3 students and critically injuring 5 others before turning the gun on himself.
There's an eye-catching new trend in footwear, although eye-popping might be the better term. They're boots fit for a cartoon character, but designed for human feet. And these big red boots are red hot. CNN's Jeannie Moose reports on who's wearing them.
Styling them.
It's a goofy shoe. I give them a 10 out of 10.
Even influencers of the grandpa generation. Wrestler Seth Rollins pretends stomped his opponent wearing big red boots. Ever since they went on sale for $350 and sold out in minutes, fashionistas can't shut up about the big red boots, created by the art collective Mischief.
They do make you want to touch them.
Yeah.
YouTube sneakerhead Steve Natto found that out when he wore them to SneakerCon.
And some people asked to touch the shoes.
How do they feel? Well, the top part
is flexible, but the bottom part is definitely not.
Steve says they're comfy. He wore them all day without pain. Their creator describes them as cartoonish. Some refer to them as Astro Boy boots. And though they're easy to put on, getting them off can get you stuck if you're not wearing your perfect size.
My foot got stuck, so I had to do what I had to do, man.
Now they're showing up on everyone from Puss in Big Red Boots to the character boots from Dora the Explorer to Tony Soprano paired with a bathrobe. People wanted to buy them right off Steve's feet offering.
I got like 800, 900, 1,000. I think I got like 13 or 1,400. They just kind of kept going up.
For now, they're the it shoe.
Are you ready, Boots?
They're not about to get the boot.
Start walking.
Ginny Mose, CNN, New York.
Starbucks is adding an unexpected ingredient to its newest cup of joe, olive oil. The coffee chain is introducing a new line of drinks made with a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil. The new line includes the Oleato Latte, the Oleato Ice Shaken Espresso, and the Oleato Golden Foam Cold Brew. The latte has in it oat milk and olive oil, while the espresso takes those two ingredients and adds a hazelnut flavor. Finally, the cold brew features a sweet milk foam infused with 2 olive oil servings. Starbucks will make the new beverages available at its cafes in Italy this week. Versions will then hit Southern California this spring. Starbucks says the drinks will eventually go global sometime this year.
Just in time for St. Patrick's Day, McDonald's is bringing back its popular Shamrock Shake. The holiday-themed Shamrock Shake debuted originally in 1970, and it was so popular, McDonald's released a second version of the shake in 2020, mixed with crushed Oreo cookies. Both drinks are available at participating McDonald's restaurants nationwide. Although if you want one, you'd better hurry, as the sweet treats will only be available while supplies last.
Earn Your Wings 2023 staff applications are available now until March 1st. Positions include Hub Parent, Spiritual Life, and Student Life. Applications can be found in the student announcements. If you have any questions, please contact Savannah or Trent using the address on the screen.
If you know of any stories you'd like us to report on, please email our producer at the address on your screen.
We are going to take a quick break.
When we come back, we'll have David Jackson with your Eagle Angle Weather Report.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Good day, Oklahoma. I'm David Jackson here with your Eagle Angle Weather Report. Today it was a nice 72. It was a great day to go out for a walk and spend time with your friends and family. Let's go ahead and take a look around Oklahoma. Today in Durant, Oklahoma, we had 74. Miami, Oklahoma, 68. Oak City, Oklahoma, 70 degrees. And Guyman, Oklahoma, 64. And now for tonight's temperature. Tonight's temperature will be 65 degrees with 22 miles per hour winds and a 35% humidity. This is our weekend. This is what our weekend will look like. Our weekend will be full of rain, showers, and clouds, so bundle up, grab your jackets, grab your coats. Be safe as always. And finally, here's your 5-day forecast. On Thursday, it will be a sunny day, but will be cool. And as I said before, the weekend will start being more rainy, so get ready, get bundled up. And on Monday, we'll have storms. That's all for your Eagle Angle weather report. When we come back, we'll have Keneisha Sanap in the entertainment corner, bringing you the latest.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Recently, the western U.S. has averaged more than 1,900 earthquakes and 3,800 significant wildfires each year. So chances are there will be more of both near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
I'm Keneisha Sanap, and welcome to the Entertainment Corner. Prosecutors in New Mexico have downgraded the manslaughter charges against Alec Baldwin in the Rust shooting. The move reduces the amount of prison time the actor could have faced if convicted in the on-set killing of cinematographer Halna Hutchins. Last month, Baldwin's attorneys filed a motion to have the firearm enhancement charge dropped. Prosecutors said in a statement the enhancement was being dropped, quote, to further avoid litigious distractions by Mr. Baldwin and his attorneys. Dropping the enhancement could have taken a minimum of 5 years of Baldwin's sentence if found guilty. The Oscars are adding a crisis communications team to its award ceremony this year. Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences CEO Bill Kramer says rapid response professionals will be on hand during the March 12th broadcast. The move follows Will Smith's shocking slap of comedian Chris Rock during last year's show after he made a joke about the King Richard star's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Smith said in an interview months after the altercation that he lost it when he put his hands on Rock. Smith is now banned from Academy events for 10 years. Zach Galifianakis is set for a major role in Disney's remake of its popular 2002 animated movie Lilo and Stitch. Entertainment publication Variety reports the actor is signed on for the live-action production, which is planned for release on the streaming service Disney+. The movie is the story of a bond between human girl Lilo and Stitch, a dog-like alien. The role Galifianakis will have in the remake hasn't been revealed. The comedian is getting back to the big screen for the first time since the 2018 Disney movie A Wrinkle in Time. More recently, he has done TV and voiceover work. There's a lot happening in entertainment, both at the box office and in the heart of Hollywood. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Avatar: The Way of Water has passed Titanic for third place on the worldwide all-time box office chart. With $2.244 billion, the sequel is still more than $500 million behind Avengers Endgame for second and nearly $680 million behind the original Avatar for first. Of course, with the two Avatars and Titanic, James Cameron still has 3 of the top 4 highest-grossing movies ever.
pushing our sound to places we've never been before. And that
Pentatonix is kicking off a busy week on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Grammy-winning a cappella group gets a star today in the live performance category. 3 days from now, a posthumous star ceremony is planned for the late actor Ray Liotta in the movies category. And then 3 days after that, actress and producer Courtney Cox gets her star in the television category. Plenty of friends figure to be on hand for all 3 Tinseltown events. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's all for today's Entertainment Corner. Here's Gabe Vaden, who has your Eagle Angle Sports Report.
Thanks, Keneisha. The Oklahoma Christians men and women's basketball teams played their senior day games this past Saturday. The Mustangs started off the game by taking the lead over the Lady Eagles in the first half with the score at 31-27. Coming back in the second half, the Lady Eagles were ready to protect the nest. Oklahoma Christian came back with a 19-11 point lead in the third quarter and a 22-11 point lead in the fourth quarter. The Lady Eagles ended the game dominating the Mustangs 68-53. This past Saturday, the Oklahoma Christian University's men's basketball team played a close game against the Western New Mexico University Mustangs. The Eagles played a hard first half, scoring 31 points, but the Mustangs came together, scoring 39 points over the Eagles. The Eagles came back in the second half with their spirits going strong, but unfortunately, the Mustangs took the second half with a score of 40-39. The Eagles played a hard game being led by DJ Walter and Hunter Staton, but the Mustangs took the win, ending the game 79-70. Eagle Angle would like to give a special shout out to both the men's and women's basketball seniors. Last week, the Oklahoma Christian men and women's bowling teams finished out the regular season at the Hoosier Classic. The men's team finished the tournament placing 14th out of 78 teams, led by sophomore CJ Petrin, who's placed 6th. The women's team placed the team 4th, making the 18-match bracket play. They went on to win the quarterfinal, but lost the semifinal. The women's team was led by Claire McDermott, who placed 9th. WNBA star Brittany Griner will soon be returning to the game she loves. On Tuesday, the Phoenix Mercury announced the team is re-signing her to a 1-year deal. In a statement, Mercury's general manager Jim Pittman said signing Griner is, quote, special. He says the team will continue to support her on and off the court. The Mercury's home opener is in May. Griner was released in a prisoner swap in December after being detained by Russia for 10 months. And that is all for your Eagle Sports Report. When we come back after the break, Dominic will be here for a feel-good story of the week.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
You care for the house, the kids, and our future. My Shiro's Day is never done. So let's save a little more now so we can create the retirement we want. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need. Visit asiaretirement.org/Shiro.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
A 25-year-old walked from New Jersey to California in 143 days, and it only took him 10 pairs of shoes to do it. His goal, to raise funds for the homeless veterans nationwide. Reina Nakano has the story.
10 pairs of shoes and 143 days later, 25-year-old Tommy Pasquale has made it to Venice Beach.
Walked all the way from Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Tennessee, into Arkansas, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and here to sunny California.
Accompanied only by his souped-up shopping cart, which he named American Girl.
She's a sturdy gal. She's a bit on the heavy side, but she's made it all the way here.
His journey began at the Atlantic Ocean in Manasquan, New Jersey on September 19th. His goal, to raise awareness and money for the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. He says it's a cause that's deeply personal to him.
I have a lot of family and friends who are veterans and active duty, and I think it's a bit shameful that brave men and women go serve and protect this country and then come home and not have a place to hang their hat at the end of the day.
He trekked 20 to 30 miles a day exploring the nation while meeting many homeless veterans as he pitched his tent along the way. He even got to try some local favorites.
In-N-Out Burger.
The verdict?
A little overrated, I'm not gonna lie.
Agree to disagree, but what we can all agree on is his incredible feat as he jumped into the Pacific Ocean, finishing his grueling journey.
It was a little cold, but this is probably the best swim I've ever had.
I'm very proud of my son.
Parents Rosanna and Peter say Tommy called every day to update them on his journey.
This is one moment where he has proven himself to be more than we could have ever hoped for as a human being and as a son.
Pasquale says there were some days where he wanted to give up and jump on a plane, but he somehow found the strength in himself and the cause to keep going.
Have a dream, you gotta go for it.
And now that he's done, what's next?
I'm ready to go home and get a job though, and maybe sit in the office for a while.
Well deserved. I'm Raina Nakano, KCAL News.
That's all for today. We'll see you back here next week to bring you the latest.
Thanks for tuning in to Eagle Angle, where it's your campus,
your news.
Good
night.